first 3 expansions for Hearts of Iron 4 are now absolutely free, and you can claim them and add them to your game. However, in future, there will be a new starter edition of HOI4, which will have these new expansions built in with them. But for the most part, these expansion packs are going to become a thing of the past before, because they're going to be fully integrated into the main game. And the reason why they're doing that is so that Paradox don't have to develop old expansions for HOI4. They can basically only move further forward, and that way when a new expansion comes out, they don't have to go, well, what happens if they've not got Together for Victory? What if they've not got Death of Dishonor? What if they've not got Waking the Tiger? They don't have to debug the old game without all those old expansions. Honestly, this is an amazing change. At the end of the day, anything that makes the devs' lives easier in developing expansion, I am so behind 1000%. There's a big however here, though. This is changing the future course of Hearts of Iron 4's development. And I think it's because of what the content of these 3 expansion packs originally consumed. And the big one here is actually Waking the Tiger. It's not Death of Dishonor or Together for Victory. But you know what we should do? Go over these expansions and see if there could also be some features within them that could affect the future development of HOI4. So first of all, Together for Victory added all the Commonwealth countries expansions. Now, Paradox have gone back on a few of those and updated them and tweaked them. The Raj, Canada have been tweaked. However, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa haven't been touched. Maybe they'll also a little bit of love over time. We'll see. It adds the autonomy system, and how you've been playing HOI without the autonomy system to this point is beyond me. It also adds the Lend-Lease system. How is this? How are you playing HOI without Lend-Lease? I'll never know. It adds the special ability of the Spearhead Battle command. I even forgot this was in the game. I so rarely use it. And it allows technology sharing, which is another tricky one too, because these are so core features of the game now. How do you survive without them? Hence the reason why they're making them free. Anyway, next up, Death of Dishonor, one of my favorite expansions for HOI4, because these focuses that are added to the Balkans give so much flavor, whether it's joining factions, early conquest, or lots of fun shenanigans. I love this expansion, you know I love it. Equipment conversion. How are you surviving without this? Oh, no, actually, no, on hindsight, I can see why you're surviving without it. To be fair, it's pretty optional for me too. I very rarely do it. New diplomatic options, the ability to do licenses. Wow, the most forgotten feature in HOI4. They use it in MP to boost research, and I think that's pretty much it. There's also new puppet interactions, so basically fascist puppets. So it's the Together for Victory puppet system, but they're fascist versions. And I always predicted that we were going to have communist puppets, but they never added that. There were just the fascist ones, and then there were the kind of non-aligned democratic ones, and that was it. Okay, for the most part, all the features that are a part of these old expansions need to be base game anyway, because that's just so core versions of the game anyway. It's particularly Lend-Lease and the autonomy system. How have you survived without them? Now this is it. This is the meat. This is why we're here, okay? Waking the Tiger. So this added national focuses for China and Communist China and the warlords. Now this is the biggie. This was the first rework, and it added a rework for Germany and Japan. It unlocked command abilities, which I'll admit get used a lot in multiplayer, but I don't touch them that much. It unlocked decisions and missions, which once again, that's so core base game anyway. And it added the ability to salvage equipment from the battlefield. Use volunteer air corps as well as new music. Does this mean you couldn't send puppets with air volunteers prior to this? I think you could. Once again, guys, when you close your eyes, you're like, these have to be part of the base game. There's no way around it. Anyway, this modified the national focuses for Germany and Japan. It introduced the very first rework for Hearts of Iron 4. It was this. You know what? I closed my eyes and I can't even imagine what it was like prior to this. But this was a massive expansion. This changed fundamentally how the game worked. And this actually made HOI4 the game it is today. So what does this mean for future development of HOI4? It means that a Japan rework version 3 and a Germany rework version 3 are on the horizon. Because the big problem in the past was, why would you add a new DLC that would override an old DLC? It'd be kind of like, well, the next expansion is going to be called The Passing of the Rhine or something, or The Crossing of the Rhine or something, you know? And then it adds another rework for Germany. Well, it would kind of semi-go over the toes of Waking the Tiger, wouldn't it? But it doesn't matter now, because Waking the Tiger is a free expansion. So now they'll introduce a new rework for HOI4 for the German focus tree, full out with brand new features and all the more up-to-date mechanics of Germany for Hearts of Iron 4. And quite probably Japan as well. So, do you want me to go for my ultimate prediction? I'll go for my number grade A prediction. Okay, the biggest prediction. We'll call this the S tier prediction. And I predict the next expansion for HOI4 is going to be a rework for Germany. It's going to be an Austrian focus tree. It'll be a Belgium focus tree. Just remember, they're always flavored. So this would mean it's all focused around Germany and this specific region. And then potentially it can have what they call a minor focus tree, which is practically Paraguay, Uruguay, and Czechoslovakia, the mini focus trees. And Luxembourg will get that mini focus tree approach. And maybe if they've got time, maybe Albania will get the mini focus tree approach as well. But do you know what that means, guys? If they do that, I'm wrong. I was about to say Europe is done and Europe is completed. Everything has a focus tree. No. I suppose alternatively, if they wanted to, they could slap on a minor focus tree for Ireland as well. And then we could have 3 minor focus trees and then 3 major focus trees. But then suppose you think about it, what's the point of a major focus tree for Austria? But if they're going to do the Austria-Hungary thing again, which would be very likely, I suppose that would be a full-blown expansion, wouldn't it? But that would be Europe complete. We would have a full Europe national focuses all complete 100%. We've already seen in one of the dev diaries that officially Belgium has been confirmed. There was a mention in the last dev diary where they said that they wanted to still give love to Belgium because Belgium has been forgotten, and that's kind of an inadvertent hint that Belgium is going to be next. And they did say there was going to be 2 expansions for Hearts of Iron 4 this year. And we've already had one, the Trial of Allegiance, which is South America. So it would make more sense that we go back to Europe. And the community right now is very loud. They want features, they want new game mechanics, and they want Germany reworked. And they want nations in Europe that they care about, for instance, Austria and Belgium. It's quite common people are saying, why do Argentina or Paraguay when we need Austria? I mean, just people keep saying that. End of the day, they might not necessarily want those things, because when you get them, you might even play with them. But end of the day, if that's what the community wants, you give the community what they want, and I suppose that'll really result in good Steam reviews, and that's kind of what they really want to do. They want to see that the game has a satisfying payoff. That was my S tier take, okay? But what about an A tier take? What about a rework for Japan? It's another one the community is exceptionally loud about. Even though when we look at the focus tree for Japan, it is quite big when it comes politically. But if you lose one of the 3 of the 4 political branches, the focus has become very limited. Like, this is developing Manchuria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 focuses. This is your army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 focuses. This is your Navy and Air Force. You know, on hindsight, when you look at this, you're like, wow, this focus tree is pretty small in comparison. Once again, size doesn't deter how good a focus tree is. I'm a big proponent of that. Size doesn't always matter, I've heard. That's bad, man. However, there's just a lot of flavor missing from Japan. And Japan is another one of those ones people are yelling for, saying, why don't we come back to it? I love playing as Japan. Why can't you make Japan better? And if there was another one, I would probably like to see some love for. It would probably be USA as well. Once again, I'm a big proponent that USA is too strong. And I would do anything to nerf USA to make it kind of competitive in a balancing perspective. I think basically you get rid of Great Depression way too quickly. And I think there needs to be some more stopgaps to slow this process down of getting rid of Great Depression. You get rid of it within 2 years, and it's just too quick because your economy is untapped and you're so unbelievably powerful and big. You've heard me bang on about this before. I'm not going to say it again. But Japan, Siam, and Malaysia is a potential expansion. Oh, Philippines. Oh, the Philippines as well is a potential expansion region, even though it might necessarily be a popular one. Siam's involvement in the war was big. Indonesia too. Philippines were kind of a Belgium of Pacific, I suppose. They were a speed bump. You get the idea. Anyway, guys, I think it's more clear now that a German rework is definitely on the horizon, and Belgium is not too far behind it. What do you think about this in the comments below? Tell me what your wants are. Tell me new features. Tell me new changes. Tell me what national focuses you want. Comment them below. Hey, and content, more of it is right here. Give this a click.